Hello everyone, it's Justine. Today I'm going to make 4 fancy, if you will, stitched cards. And to me, in my opinion, what makes these cards fancy is the amount of intricate stitching and the size of the stamp and the flowers. So you'll kind of see as I go along here, but basically I took an A2 size card base like so. I stamped first. Actually, I guess I die cut first. I die cut out the scalloped stitched edge, and I believe that was this one. That's from Spellbinders, and I'll link that in the description. But it was a die of the month from November of 2020, I think it says on there, and I love that die. I use it all the time. So I die cut it out, and then I went ahead and stamped this really bold stamp onto the paper, and then I stitched the edge, and you can see there's quite a lot of holes there to play around with. So I have a light, a mid, a dark, that mid, and then the light again. So I have kind of a gradient going on there on the fanned parts, and then on the small diamonds I just have an every other pattern. So that's kind of fun. That's what the back side looks like, and I'm about to cover up that back side right now by adding a piece of solid cardstock that is A2 size, so that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So when I add that onto my cards, I usually just put some double-sided tape like this onto the back. Sometimes I'll add it to the stitched areas like this. Sometimes I will use some liquid glue, but this just seems to work, so I'm using it. And what I do is I line up this paper with the crease of the card base like that, and then I'll just lay it on. Give it a press, and it should be all set. So then that finishes off the border on the bottom, and it gives a clean look to the inside of the card. So I do that frequently with this style of card. So now I'm just going to take my card with this Teflon bone folder that I have here and just give it a hard crease. So it is good to go. So this card is beautiful as it is, but I have these little paper flowers with some beads and interesting centers on them. So I thought, why not add these right on to my card and make it kind of a bold card. So I'm just going to use some Bearly Art liquid glue and add them on. Now there are several companies that sell die sets that you can make your own paper flowers with. I've done that before. I have a paper punch that will die cut out flowers pieces. I've made flowers that way before. Oh dear, that really got stuck down. But I do like just buying these flowers here like this from Hobby Lobby or my local craft store, which is Crafts Direct in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And just buying them all made already just kind of works for me. But if you want to make your own, go for it. I like this little blue one especially because there are beads for the center of the flower. So I'm going to show you a close-up here once that glue sticks on, but it is pretty intricate. And I don't think I would take the time to add beads to a center of a paper flower myself, so I'm glad that they were selling them. So here's a close look at that little bead. Hopefully it focuses. Anyhow, there's that. Now to make this card even more of a blingy moment, I could go ahead and take some gems, which I think I will do on this card, and I'm going to put them at the tops of the little fanfares. What I sometimes do with this die is I will put the gems at the top of the fans, or I will put them in the center of the little diamonds, but I'm just kind of feeling the tops of the fans this time, especially with these larger gems. It's really fun stitching with Spellbinders, so if you haven't stitched before, go ahead and check it out. I always recommend for someone who'd like to start stitching to start with the alphabet die set. You don't have to buy the whole kit and caboodle alphabet. I would buy the letter of your name and just see if you like stitching something small, or you can go ahead and pick up something like the small die of the month for December. Here is a stitch die. So here's a look at 3 of those that I made, but it can kind of start small with the stitching and maybe work your way up to something that's a little more complicated with different colors in different directions with the stitching. But it is just so fun to stitch on cards, and I just really enjoy it immensely. So I think you will too. It's kind of a newer thing. Newer meaning within the last 4 years in the craft world, I'd say. I know that sometimes people do embroidering on cards just with kind of a tool that looks like the pokey end of the Tool-in-One, like this, and they'll poke their own holes in paper, which is incredible, but I'm not that gal, so I really do like the Spellbinders stitch dies for that reason. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this card, just add that pink paper, take my bone folder and give it a crease, and then add my flowers. I love this one. I think it looks so pretty and delicate. I think I might send this one to one of my friends who just had her first baby, and she had a girl, so I think this card would kind of suit her well and kind of give her a little well wishes on the new babe. With these flowers, they are kind of pointed on the bottom, so I'm just kind of pooling the glue and hoping that the bottom kind of catches the glue one way or another and going from there. Just hold it down for a little bit. Now, if you're into sunflowers, after I'm finished with this card, I will show you 2 cards that I made with some of my leftover sunflowers from this fall. I made a whole bunch of fall cards this year. And if you go to my channel and click on the playlist Stitching on Cards, you will find the fall stitch cards that I did, and you'll see that same sunflower paper flower that I used on the upcoming cards here on those cards. And maybe if you pick those up too at Hobby Lobby, you will be inspired to give them a new use. I'm always trying to kind of stretch my items and use up my craft supplies and not just simply hoard them for the fact of just saying, oh yeah, I have that. Well, what did you make with it, you know? But to each their own. All right, I will go ahead and find those sunflower stitch cards that I just made. It shouldn't be too difficult, I guess, but and then I'll come on back and show you what I made. All right, I did end up finding these 2 cards, and I just wanted to mention that if you have any questions about stitching at all, I know I didn't show the stitching process, but I do have a ton of stitching videos on my channel. So if you're interested, go ahead and check that out. And if you have questions about stitching or like how to match colors or anything like that, go ahead and ask in the comments of this video. Either way, If you liked the video, please hit the like button. It really does help my channel reach other people who might like this kind of creative content. And if you enjoy the video or the cards or the style, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and YouTube will send you more videos like this one from me in the future. So I hope that you stick around. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!